What's up everybody, Patrick with Best Massage Tech, back with another comparison review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Hypervolt and the Hypervolt Plus. What the heck is the difference between the Hypervolt and the Hypervolt Plus? That's a question that I've been pondering over the last few days. I've seen a few comments on a couple of my videos asking about the Hypervolt Plus. We're going to take a look at them both today, but kind of the too long didn't watch version. There's really not much between the two different devices. They're very, very similar in their capabilities, but let's take a look at, kind of how they stack up anyways. I'm going to start by taking a look at the Hypervolt. This is the classic massage gun from Hyperice. It is arguably their flagship product. It's been out for a few years now. They did make some upgrades to it within the last year. I'll touch on those briefly. But just to run through a few of the specs of this device, it does have a pretty high stall force, probably somewhere around 60 pounds, I'd say. You can't get it to stall with aggressive pressure. Great for somebody that's looking to give a really good aggressive massage. It has a pretty short amplitude. I would estimate somewhere between 10 and 15 millimeters. I've never measured it. They don't have an advertise of what it is, but the distance that head's going to move away is about 10 to 15 millimeters. It is a 3-speed device. On your low end, it's going to be 2,000 percussions per minute. On the high end, 3,200 percussions per minute. It has a 24-volt removable battery, which is nice for being able to have a second battery on hand. That 24-volt battery has about a 3-hour battery life. It does come with 5 different attachments, so I've got the flat attachment in here now. Also comes with a fork, a bullet, a cushion, and a round attachment. It is not adjustable, so this is a fixed angle device stuck at 90 degrees there. What you see is what you get. It is 2.5 pounds, so while it's all relative, I think it is pretty easy to move around in one hand. You can kind of get everywhere you need to with it pretty easily. The noise level is going to be between 54 and 64 decibels depending on what speed you're on, and it does not come with a case. So if you're looking for a case, you can buy a case separately, but out of the box it does not come with a case. Now, I mentioned there's a couple features that they added. I'd say it is a little bit quieter than their initial version that they came out with a couple years ago. And the other function that's new, and I'm going to turn it on here, is they have a pressure sensor. So you see the white lights flashing there. They adjust based on how much pressure you put onto the device, so that's something new. And again, it is a little bit quieter than the first one that I initially reviewed about 6 months ago. The one I reviewed then didn't have the pressure sensors either. So, that's the Hypervolt. The Hypervolt Plus, as you'll see, is essentially identical except for that it's black. The sizes are the exact same, not much different when you're just looking at the two. Everything that I mentioned that the Hypervolt does, the Hypervolt Plus does, exactly the same. You get the same attachments. It doesn't come with a case. You get the same 3 speeds. It has the pressure sensor. The only real difference between these two devices is the power of the motor. So this one has a 90-watt motor. This one has a 60-watt motor. So this one is 30% more powerful. That's what Hyperice advertises, 30% more powerful. They say it's for the power-seeking enthusiast. So if you're someone that wants a super, super aggressive massage, this one might be the one to look at. But ultimately, I think you're going to be able to get anything you want from the Hypervolt. The one thing I will say, with a good amount of pressure, I can get them both to stop, but they're both well beyond 60 pounds of stall force. With the stronger motor, there is a 0.5 pound more weight. So this one is 3 pounds versus 2.5 pounds. But again, both very easy to use with one hand. You can't even really, it's a 0.5 pound. You can't even really notice the difference in the weight. Certainly, if you like the silver one more than the black one or something, but they currently are pretty far apart in price. This one's the Hypervolt Plus is currently $100 more than the Hypervolt. But essentially, you're getting pretty similar devices, so it's up to you whether you justify the difference in cost. If you're having issues with the Hypervolt and it's not aggressive enough for you, and maybe you think that having a little bit more powerful powerful motor is going to be that solution for you, then maybe check it out. Again, I certainly like both of these devices. I think it's one of the top of the line massage guns on the market. I would put either of these in my top 5 easily. But, if I was to go to the store and buy one and I was faced with that price difference, I would probably just go with this Hypervolt. But I'll include a link in the description to both of them and some of the other Hyperized products. Thanks for watching. That's a review.